Hey, welcome back. Chris here. In this video, I want to talk about motivation in language learning. Motivation is the most important thing, and whenever I hear people say what their motivations are or why they're learning, I always don't fully believe them. And in this video, we're going to dive into what the biggest motivations really are for people, what I think people hide, and why I think you should know what your genuine motivations really are if you want to keep up on your language learning journey. So whenever the question is asked to someone, why are you learning a language? They usually say, oh, the culture, or I like anime, or I like the food, or blah, 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 blah. And they always give these sort of surface level reasons. But if you ever notice, for example, you'll see that people generally learn the same kind of languages. There's definitely popular languages and less popular languages, and they're not necessarily based on food or culture or population. So I've stumbled upon this concept a couple of times, and I don't know if it's official psychology or what, or it's from a book or something, but it's called the 4 M's of motivation. Basically, these 4 M's of motivation are why people do anything. So we're going to go through, look at the 4 M's of motivation and figure out how you can figure out what your core motivation is for why you learn a language or why you do anything. So the first one is money and materialism. Now I would simplify this even further if you think about our evolution, and I would just call it resources. So gathering resources, which is generally money, I guess you could say as well, is a huge motivating factor. If we have money, if we have resources, it means we have security, and then that means we have survival. We're able to live longer. If anything, survival is our #1 core motivator, and then these are sort of down from that. So the first one, money and materialism. Is that a motivating factor for you for learning a language? Do you want to get a job in another country? I know a lot of people who are probably in this situation, you know. English, I think, is a language where people are learning it for that reason. It's going to help them with their job, their work prospects, and that's a big motivating factor. The second one is mating, love, and social. We have an innate need to socialize. We're social creatures. And a lot of people don't like to admit that this might be why they're learning a language. You know, I'm sure a lot of guys out there learning Japanese are doing it because they love Japanese women. Oh my God, I said it. And going back to what I just said before, I find that men tend to learn languages where the women in that country are beautiful. And I find women tend to learn languages where they have handsome dudes as well. I know, you're not allowed to say that. You're not allowed to say, oh, I'm learning this language because I want to date these people. But according to our evolution, our psychology, it's a viable reason and it's an okay reason. If you're learning a language because you want to marry a woman from that country or marry a man from that country or date those people, it's perfectly natural. Go for it. The third one is movement and freedom. People value the freedom to do what they want. This is probably a big one for me. A lot of people just get frustrated, depressed, anxious when they're kind of locked into a certain place. And so they want to be able to have freedom. Now, does language allow you to have freedom? I can see some kind of connection there. If you learn different languages, it allows you to comfortably live in many, many countries. And I'm sure that's a motivating factor for people who are motivated by movement and freedom. And also maybe when they travel to different countries, they don't just want to have that surface level tourist experience, but they want to get to know the people. So often that movement and freedom is tied in with the social and mating one as well. And the last one is mastery and status. Now these might seem a bit different, but I guess if you truly have mastery, then you will have status in whatever you do. But I would also add recognition there with an asterisk next to status. I think a big motivating factor for a lot of people is they do want to be recognized. The thing that comes to mind is all these YouTubers, like massive YouTube channels who have these videos like, you know, white guy speaks Japanese in front of old ladies at the supermarket, and they've made tons and tons of these videos. I would bet that status, mastery, recognition is a huge motivating factor for those people. For example, they want to be recognized that they've got this skill, that they're amazing at this language, they want other people to know it. And although that might seem a little bit arrogant, I don't think it really has to be. This is one of the motivations of people. Perhaps status and recognition is also based off survival. If you have recognition and status, maybe more people know you, more people are willing to look after you. or revere you. And I'm not a psychologist, I'm not sure how exactly that works, but I'm pretty sure all of these are based and are stemming from survival. So the reason I wanted to talk about this is because motivation, I know I'm not the only one who said this, motivation is truly the most important part of sustaining yourself on that language learning journey. I mean, if you're learning a language, you're in it for the long haul, at least a year, 2 years, or something like that. So it's important that you keep that motivation, and it's important that you, quote unquote, know thyself, I think. So I think there's value in understanding what your basic needs are as a human, your evolved needs. So how do you find out what your motivators are out of these 4 M's? Well, you just do it like a tournament style thing. You go money and materialism versus mating, love, and social. Which one do you value more? Would you rather have a bunch of money, or would you rather have a beautiful wife or husband? Then maybe you could face off money and freedom versus mastery and status. Would you rather have a bunch of people know who you are and revere you, or would you rather just have freedom to go wherever you want and travel wherever you want? Which one is more important? Let's say you want to be revered, and then on this side, I don't know, you want money. So then you say, well, do I want to be more revered? Do I want status? Do I want mastery? Do I want people to look at me speaking my new language and going like, wow, that guy's so amazing? Or would you rather just have a ton of cash and feel secure in that way? And maybe you don't care about being recognized. Me personally, the status and mastery thing, probably not high up on my list. But you get your first place, you figure out which one you like the most, and then do the 3rd and 4th place, and you can probably end up ranking them. I find that most people are 1 or 2 majority, and then the other ones are kind of not that important. So just a quick video there, more of a mindset one on motivation, getting to grips with what your motivations really are, and accepting what they are, even if you are learning a language because you want to date women from that country or date men from that country. It's completely fine. Don't let people tell you otherwise. This is hardwired into your psychology, and there's nothing really you can do about it. So I'm interested to know what answers you got. What are your motivations? Let's go back to the 4 again. Is it money and materialism? Is it mating, love, and social? Is it movement and freedom? Or is it mastery and status and recognition? Let me know down in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.